Hi, everyone, and welcome to Faith in an Ever Changing World, Encouragement and Hope. So glad that you are joining us today. And I am excited to be catching up with Dennis O'Neill. Hi, Dennis.
Hi,
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you back
thank
visiting with
you.
me today. And once we have our intro, we will be back and we will learn what God has Dennis doing in this season. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And we are back. And Dennis is an actor. He is also an acting teacher, public speaker, writer, producer, director. Wow. And you star in your award winning TV series, Bail Out.
Great.
Ah, awesome, awesome. Every time I see a Facebook post these days, Dennis, I see where you have won another festival or
Oh,
award or
yeah,
nomination. Oh, it's just amazing. God is
it is.
moving.
It is. It really is amazing. I don't know. I might have told you this story on the last program I was on with you, but in my junior year in high school, the assistant principal called me into his office and he said, "O'Neill, sit down." And I was not a good student at all. I was always into fights. I was
Oh,
drinking,
my.
doing drugs. I was just not,
Mm,
I was not a good student and I
mm,
was failing. And he
yeah.
said, "Sit down. There's two things I'm going to tell you. Number one, you'll never make it in life. Number two, you'll never make it to your senior year. Now go back to your class." So
Oh,
when I left, I thought, wow, that was encouraging.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I worked really hard, and I squeaked through, just barely
Yeah.
made it to my senior year.
Mm,
And so, and I apologize for my camera moving. I'm holding it up.
okay.
Uh, so
Mm.
I squeaked through, and that week that I was in my senior year to graduate high school, I went to his.
Uh-oh. There we go. Are you back?
"What are you
Oh,
doing here? Go
okay,
back
there
to
you
your
go.
class." And I said, "I quit." He said, "You quit what?" I said, "I quit school." And I walked out. And for
Oh,
10 years, I was going nowhere. Couldn't
wow.
get a good job. Dishwasher, short order cook. Not that there's anything wrong with dishwashers and short order
Right,
cooks, but
right.
there was more that I expected from my life. But
Mm.
anyway, so fell into a world of drugs, and what he was saying was coming to pass, that I will not make it in life. And I
Right.
remember I was sitting in my living room and I looked at this joint that I rolled, and I looked at the cocaine that was on the table, and in my other hand was a beer. And I looked at all of it and I said, "Yeah, I guess I'll just die doing this stuff."
Oh,
And
my.
and I
Oh,
gave into
Dennis.
it.
Yeah.
And about 10 years later,
Mm.
um, I went back to school, and I'm making a very long story short. And I got my associate's degree, graduated with honors. A few
Oh,
years after that, when I moved to Texas, I took a class at UTA, and I thought, well, since I already took one class, now I'm committed, so I'm going
hmm.
to see it through. And the chair of the theater department, that's what I was going for. He said to me, "Well, look, what are you going to be doing in 4 or 5 years anyway?" I said, "Well, this is true." And so after I graduated, I went to his office and I said, "Why didn't you ask me what I'd be doing in 15 years?" Because it took me 15 years to get my bachelor's degree.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
15
but I was
years.
determined. I was
Wow.
determined. Uh,
Persistent.
I
Yes.
I couldn't go full time because I was a working actor and I had my own
Hmm.
home, and so I
Hmm.
took one class every semester or sometimes one a year. And so after 15 years, I graduated with honors again. And now we have something like 50 something awards. And
Ooh,
every now and then I go back and I thank my assistant principal for giving me such harsh words, because I
yeah.
think somewhere in my subconscious, it
Hmm.
made me work toward
Yes,
being
yes,
successful, being victorious.
yes, yes. Oh, well,
So,
listen, tell us about what God has you doing. You're doing some writing now.
yeah, so I write all my own scripts for my episodes
Mm,
called Bail Out, but I started writing a book on acting, and it was called Acting is Believing. And as I'm writing it, and I finished it, I started editing it, I started reading it, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is a good book. And it really started to encourage me. And it started to encourage me not only mentally, psychologically, and
uh-huh.
educationally, but it started to encourage me spiritually. And
Mm,
I came up with a new name, uh, Believe. And it seems my acting book, um, it goes out to the secular world. It goes
uh-huh.
out to, you know, non-actors. And I've
Right.
had some of my friends who are not actors read it, and they all said, when this is done, I want to read the whole book. So
Whew.
then I called it Believe,
Mm.
Your Journey to Finding Your Character, which
Oh.
means not only just your character as the actor,
Hmm.
but your character as a person.
As a
And
person. Oh, wow.
that's coming out shortly.
Whew, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. We'll look forward to that.
Yeah, well, thank
Yeah.
you. And so
Yes.
another book that I have, I started
Mhm.
writing this years ago, but since I'm in the writing mode right now, I'm starting it. It's called From the Edge of Night to the Guiding Light, and it's my life story,
Oh, wow.
because I was on those soap operas.
Yes, you were. Yes.
And I'll tell you, my life was on the edge of night. But when I came to know Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I found the guiding light.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I'm talking about my life's journey from the edge
Hmm.
of night to the guiding light.
Yes, yes. Oh, that will be a really powerful,
Yeah.
powerful book. Yeah, it's your true life story
Yeah, because I mean, God took me from, I
journey.
mean, totally immersed in
Yeah.
drugs. I was selling drugs, I was doing drugs every waking moment of my
Yeah.
life. And I tried to get off of it, but I couldn't. And so when my wife talked me into going to church with her, um,
Hmm.
I, I, I said to her, just do me one favor. She said, anything. I said, after Saturday night, don't ever talk to me about Jesus, the Bible, church. Don't ever talk to me about it ever again. And
Wow.
she said, I promise.
Mm.
So I went to church with her, hoping and leaning on that promise that she will never talk to me about this ever again. And that night, April 4th, 1981, I
Wow.
said, Jesus, if you're real, I want to see something. And that's exactly how it happened. I
Wow.
didn't I didn't go up and I didn't pray, Lord, come into my life. All I said was, Jesus, if you're real, prove it
Mm.
to me. I want to
Mm.
see something.
Hmm.
And right then and there, it felt like my head opened up and this
Mm.
white light came all the way down
Oh
from the
my
crown of my head to the soles
goodness.
of my feet.
Oh.
And oh my gosh, I I couldn't move. I mean,
Mm.
I didn't know what happened to me. All
Yeah.
I said was, and you know, we said this back in the day, in our drug day,
Yeah.
wow. And I was so excited I said it backwards. Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I share. That's what I share in churches.
Very funny. Yeah.
And so that night, I not only received Jesus into my heart, but he delivered me from 20 years of drug addiction.
Wow. 20 years.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. Only
So
God.
what's that?
Only God.
Yes, only
Yeah.
God.
But God,
and for the grace of God.
oh my goodness. Dennis, thank you so much for sharing all that with us, and just God's blessings on you as you write these books
Thank
and
you.
continue with your series Bailout. So congratulations to
Thank you.
everything that God has you doing in this season, and for you being steadfast in that purpose.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me again, Dennis, and thank you all for watching. And I do want to give a shout out to Abundant TV. Abundant TV is a great network for you and your family. And also, I'd like for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Spotify. Have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. Bye. God bless.